Though how long will that take? According to one military expert, Russia is in for a long and costly battle. As CBS 8's Steve Price reports, things have not gone the way Putin planned, and the U.S. is already preparing for his next move.
A U.S. expert on Russia's military and foreign policy says the invasion of Ukraine is not going how Russia expected. He says that Putin overestimated support and underestimated resistance. So we asked him, where do things go from here? A government building in Kharkiv rocked by explosions Tuesday. At least 6 people killed, several injured. And in Kyiv, Russian forces attacked a television tower, killing 5 more. A former military analyst with the CIA fears this is just the beginning.
I think going forward, the Russians are going to start to use more heavy-handed techniques, applying greater combat power with less discriminancy against, civilian populations and things of that nature, and that's pretty troubling.
Jeffrey Edmonds, who also served as director for Russia on the National Security Council, says Russia has lost all credibility, stating they had no plans to invade Ukraine when clearly that wasn't the case. That said, Edmonds approves of the way U.S. leaders are handling the situation with phased-in sanctions that started by hitting their banks and oil. He says with Putin, you don't want to go too far too fast, and pushes back up against a wall.
You don't want to create kind of a chaotic, spiraling, escalatory situation where a guy with his hand on nuclear weapons suddenly feels like he's losing control of the state.
Edmund says what Putin really wants is a positive Russian government in Kyiv, but that's probably not going to happen. And even if it does, Edmund doubts it will last.
Russian troops are going to have to stay there and prop this government up indefinitely. And so that's a very long and costly process. And so I don't really see a viable endgame for the Russian leadership.
The U.S. has made it clear Russia has a choice: de-escalate the situation and sanctions will be lifted. And while the hope is that Russia will pull out, the U.S. has to prepare now for anything.
And we need to be wargaming and thinking about, okay, if he's going to expand the conflict, how could he do that and how can we best mitigate against it?
Steve Price, CBS 8.